As the search for Jay Slater continues, drawing no results to date, we bring you everything you need to know about the Jay Slater case and more. Thank you for joining me back at Just Gone Viral for yet another video. In this video we bring you further updates and dissect the facts and evidence the media still aren't telling you. Stay tuned to the end to find out if Jay will ever be seen again, and we uncover the real Lucy Mae. All the information in this video is widely available to find, and all statements are a reflection and reaction of the evidence I found. Jay Slater, 19, has now been missing on the island of Tenerife for 13 days, with the Spanish authorities now searching caves and now inviting volunteers to join in the search, after the Spanish authorities had already told Jay Slater's family to stay clear of the search, as this would disrupt and interfere with their investigation. It will be interesting to see if the volunteers are paid via the GoFundMe money. Debbie, who is Jay's mother, has now withdrawn the GoFundMe money and stated that this is for friends and family to come over to Spain for an extended stay under the guise of searching for Jay Slater. The GoFundMe, which was set up by Lucy Law, or Lucy Mae, or Lucy Mae Law, or even Lucy Mae GoFundMe Law, or whatever she likes to call herself. She was the faceless friend of Jay Slater that is so concerned, who as of late has been so silent. The GoFundMe money can be withdrawn at any time before the target is reached, and these withdrawals will not affect the target amount. Therefore, the public would be none the wiser. There is nothing to suggest that the money has been withdrawn from day one for whatever purposes. But Jay's mother Debbie has already stated to the media that they were funding the trip and the stay in Spain via their own pocket and not the money from the GoFundMe. Then Rachel Hugg, a friend of Lucy's and Debbie's, told the media after Debbie's statement that in fact the GoFundMe would be paying for the trip and the stay. It seems that the narrative and statements that contradict each other on purpose, as a way of disorientating the public with confusion and questions, that Lucy's Facebook Get Jay Home official page refuses to answer any questions and deletes comments that do not fit their narrative and story. Family members and friends that are already in Tenerife claim to be searching for Jay, yet the lack of visuals of the family searching, handing out missing flyers, and a picture of one poster on a post that is written all in English and none in Spanish to appeal to the locals seems confusing. Then there has been reports of news footage covering the search for missing Jay Slater, yet the lack of Spanish media coverage and Spanish press or TV appeals and no update of the search or progress from the Spanish authorities is not normal, to say the least.
Disappearance. She is just 18, and because of prank calls and abuse she's been getting, asked us not to show her face.
His friend Lucy Mae Law has told us that she received a phone call from him saying that his battery was running out, it was down to 1%, and that he'd missed the last bus to Los Cristianos, which we assume must be from this bus stop because it's directly opposite the Airbnb where he was taken to by these two British guys that we know in the early hours of Monday morning. And as you can see, the road then winds down the valley towards Los Cristianos. We understand it's about an hour away on the bus. The road is actually quite tortuous. It's twisting and turning with some hairpin bends. And you can see the terrain it's not that bad. I mean, it's not a desert landscape or anything like a mountain landscape. The question is though, just where has he ended up?
Come back up here today. First of all, how are you feeling about the way things are? You know, it's 72 hours since you spoke to Jay.
Well, it's actually even been longer than 72 hours now. It was 72 hours at 8:30 this morning, and obviously that's a long time to be going without food, without water, and I just think with the amount of time that's gone by, I feel like a little bit more could have been done on the authorities' part over here. But yeah, it's been awful. Honestly, I've never been so worried in my life. Like, it's just the unknown as well. Like, you literally you don't know what's happened. You don't know where he's gone. Like, his last drop pin wasn't even on a road. Like, there's a reason he's gone off road, I think. Like, why has he not carried on the path? He's not a stupid boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, he would have stayed on the road. Like, it was at 8 a.m. as well, so, well, just after 8 a.m. So that's like the perfect time. It's not cold at night. It's not midday heat. So there's hikers, there's tourists, there's photographers. Like, there's like people around, he's not stupid. He would know to stay on the road, and then he'd walk past someone and say, look, sorry, I'm lost. Like, I understand there's like the language barrier with some people, but someone would have been able to speak English. He would have been able to communicate efficiently to let them know that he had no phone, he had no water, and he was stuck up here. Like, why has he gone off the road? Like, there's unanswered questions, and I feel like they're not. I feel like they are doing some things, but I feel like they could try better to find out what's going on.
There are people out there who have been vile. I've listened to messages, I've read messages from people. There are people out there who have phoned up and said, we've got Jay captive, you need to pay this, you need to that. There are some really vile people that have done that. They've tried to hack some of the social media sites, they've attacked some of the family. This is unacceptable. We've got a young lad out here who is missing.
The fact that the self-proclaimed Nicola Bulley investigator Mark Williams Thomas, who I already pre-warned people about and said was a red flag, said he could find Jay in just 3 days. But 2 days on and not even a clue. This should raise concerns that this man is now involved, as he couldn't wait to go to the TV and tell the public how bad trolls are and that Jay is definitely missing. Yet it was just over a week ago that the media slammed trolls, or as I call them, free-thinking people. They were slammed for thinking for themselves rather than spoon-fed everything.
All right, let's bring you the latest on Jay Slater. Day 12 now of him being missing. Charlie Peters has been following this over the last few days. Where are we? What are the police saying at this stage?
Well, they're not saying very much, but judging by their actions, they've certainly changed their strategy in this search. We have now seen the Civil Guard moving into some caves above a ravine that they were previously searching, having moved further down into that very rocky, very difficult and mountainous terrain in the northwest of Tenerife. We've also heard from a third-party investigator who the family of Jay Slater brought in to support their efforts this morning. He said that they're maintaining their hope. They still believe that they can find Jay. And this comes after the same investigator made several comments yesterday referring to alternative lines of inquiry beyond just the potential that he'd gone missing within that rural, extremely mountainous and difficult, unforgiving terrain, really, in the rural Deteno Park in the northwest. He's saying, this investigator, that they're looking also at the criminal underworld on the island. There is an extensive issue with drug dealing and smuggling. There have been all sorts of issues with that over the past. So they're certainly keeping that possibility open. And while that's being discussed, the police, no press conference, no information. We can only judge by their actions.
So do we know? We don't know whether the police are actively investigating any of the lines of inquiry either.
Well, no, we don't know what they're up to on that particular perspective. But there has been some controversy and discussion about the two men that Jay Slater was spending that evening with on the night of the 16th of June, because he was 36 miles to the south of the island when he was in the town at the Energy Festival. He went back reportedly to an after party with these two men in the northwest, in the isolated part of the island. Quite a strange place, you might think, to have an Airbnb rental location when you're going to visit a party island so far away from the area. And they're saying that the police want to speak to those who were involved in that property on the Sunday night.
And they've since flown home?
Yes, they have.
OK, Charlie, thanks very much.
The trolls were slammed for speculating and concluding that theories about Jay could have been kidnapping, only for Jay's mother Debbie to state that she thought her son had been kidnapped a few days later. Mark Williams Thomas was quick to jump to the defence of the family and excuse why Jay's mother did not attend a press hearing regarding Jay's disappearance the other day. This is not to be confused with any kind of media coverage or press release by Spain, for which there have been none. This was Mark's own press conference he had organised, therefore not official. The media reported Mark Williams Thomas was an investigator in the Nicola Bulley case, yet he was never involved in any search or investigation, but he did spin a story that the family of Nicola Bulley and the media wanted to put out to the public. One thing to note in the case of missing Jay Slater is not that of the actions of Debbie, Jay's family or Mark Williams Thomas, but more the words and the terminology they use. This was Mark Williams Thomas's own press release that, to clarify, is not verified by any media outlet. At a press briefing held today, Detective Mark Williams Thomas, the private detective who also contributed to the Nicola Bulley case and investigation, urged the two individuals accompanied by Jay Slater to an Airbnb after a Sunday rave to come forward. He elaborated on why Jay's family chose not to attend the press event, stating that the family are very grateful for you to be here. They appreciate the press and they are a really important aspect to the story, but they are reluctant to speak because they really want to work with the Spanish police and the Spanish authorities, which doesn't make sense. The one word that sticks out in this statement is the word story, and that no Spanish authorities have given any British interviews whatsoever or confirmed this whole story. The footage shown on TV could be nothing more than a search and rescue training video. As promised, and thank you to those who took part in the vote, I took an in-depth look at Jay's friend Lucy Mae Law, or Lucy Mae Law, as the media are now addressing her since people raised the difference in names. Her background and lifestyle is intriguing to say the least, and backs claims on social media that were once classed as vile statements, rather than the story the media, Jay's family and Mark Williams Thomas are telling you. The media are now saying that the involvement in narcotics could be a clue, yet last week the same claims by people were labelled trolls and not helpful. Some have even left comments on the last Jay Slater video, saying her name is Lucy Mae Law, which if it was true, then why would the Mirror newspaper would not have printed her full name due to legal requirements and protection against defamation claims. In my opinion, this was to portray two different friends of Jay's instead of the same girl. Hence Lucy Law never showed her face. This was also to portray a group on holiday, when in truth, I think this was just Jay and Lucy. In my opinion, this was to portray a group that had gone on holiday, when in fact that wasn't the case at all. I can now reveal who Lucy is, what she looks like, and before I have any comments saying that's not her, I found a picture of her with missing Jay Slater. For a woman who's so young to have travelled so many countries in such a short period of time, with no status of employment or income, should be the first thing that raises an eyebrow. Her love for designer clothes and the high life of one beyond her own means. I could be wrong, and she could be the daughter of a wealthy family, but if that was the case, then she would have funded the £30,000 GoFundMe herself, if she was so concerned for Jay's safety. Yet this fails to match up with anything found regarding a high society family or a socialite. From visiting nearly every country in the world, posting exotic locations such as Jamaica, Tunisia and many others, is a far stretch from the rave and festival scene. There were a few accounts I found on social media, but some people were looking in the wrong place. I found all of this on Instagram under the username lu.cymae2, which virtually spells Lucy Mae 2. Pictures including one with Jay Slater, confirming it was her, and all the videos were predated to Jay's disappearance. Her messages to fellow friend and media talker Rachel were also found, and discussions of dealing and getting the GoFundMe money to two men and going down to give it to Seven, who will pass it on to them at this coming weekend, just as Debbie, Jay's mum, withdraws the GoFundMe money. Now Seven is not a term I'm familiar with, and I had trouble finding as a reference to anything, until I thought like she would speak, i.e. in street or slang language. Seven is a man or a boy, who is boyfriend or marriage material. Was she referring to Jay? And it's amazing what you can find. Messages that have been released in the past 48 hours between Lucy and Rachel, the same Rachel that told the public, via the British press, that contradicted Jay's mother Debbie's statement that the GoFundMe money was not for the trip and accommodation, yet Rachel stated it was. They both share one mutual friend, yet since the beginning I have always felt the story portrayed to us is not the one that reflects the truth and reality. Lucy is also no stranger or inexperienced when it comes to riding high-speed jet skis in the middle of the ocean, as shown in Tenerife in this clip. When it comes to the water, high-powered speedboats and jet skis are the first choice for any dealer transporting stuff across the water. time goes on in this case, everything points more towards the rumours supported by evidence rather than the story pushed to us by the media with none. I have always stood by my videos and evidence-supported claims that have caught my attention or just not felt right, and made a promise that I would never lead you, the viewer, down a dark path of speculation just to leave you there, but would rather walk with you through the storm. The poor innocent young teen that went on his first holiday and got lost. The picture of Jay seemed old and outdated and reflected someone aged 15 to 16, and not one who appears to be 19 years old and been branded a thug. Jay is a fully grown man who is legally able to drive, vote, have sexual experiences and drink alcohol. His hidden history of a violent past involving machetes that the media hid, only then to cover 3 days after the GoFundMe hit its £30,000 target, and after a video I covered that exposed his previous crimes and not the innocent teenager portrayed to the media before the MSN News did. I've even had feedback from viewers who have said that certain comments left in the comment section are being removed and blocked by not myself, but YouTube. Yet the original post in the comment section still remains, and I confirm that this is not my doing, and you are not alone. So as the search for Jay Slater continues, and a request for volunteers from the Spanish Guard with no evidence of this, and Jay's family already being told to stay away and let them do their job, it looks like we may never see Jay again. Or maybe we will. Until next time, stay vigilant, take care of yourselves, and look after each other. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.
Well, he's still out on a bender, mate. He ain't going home, bro.
No, I've got to say, this is how it works. This is television. Television isn't real. Well, it's not as real.